Benjamin Netanyahu is back in power this morning. Israel's new government is being sworn in today, with Netanyahu serving again as prime minister. The coalition is said to be the most far-right in Israel's history. And while Netanyahu has repeatedly pledged to promote tolerance and pursue peace with his new government, his priorities laid out yesterday paint a different picture. CBS News foreign correspondent Ramy Inocencio is following this story for us from London. And Ramy, what are the priorities of the new government and what are the concerns?
Sure, Deborah. Yeah, the top priority is a massively controversial one, really, and it's the expansion of Jewish settlements in the West Bank, the Golan Heights, and East Jerusalem. These are territories seized by Israel after a brief but bloody war back in 1967 with its Arab neighbors. And to date, an estimated 500,000 Jews have now been settled in these areas. And the reason this is such a point of contention is because many Palestinians see the West Bank as their territorial core, if you will, for a future Palestinian state. The White House has voiced opposition to more settlements, so this will likely lead to more friction. And just today, new data out from the UN has found that Israeli forces have now killed more Palestinians in the West Bank this year, 2022, than any other year since record keeping started in 2005. And as for other priorities, they involve policies that critics say are more intolerant and more insular, targeting Jews who are non-Orthodox, targeting women to prevent them from serving alongside men in the military, and targeting the LGBTQ community. Now, this is being described as Israel's most far-right government since the country was established back in 1948. That's nearly 75 years ago.
And Ramy, how are people there responding right now?
Yeah, people most affected or really most angered by this new far-right government are protesting in Jerusalem right now. And their focus is on the Knesset, that is Israel's parliament. This is where the swearing in of the government happens. Hundreds of people started gathering since the early morning, and this is expected to only get bigger, to grow into the thousands as the day continues. On social media, we've been seeing demonstrators carrying banners criticizing the incoming government, the blue and white flag of Israel there. Others were carrying rainbow flags in support of Israel's LGBTQ community. But Israel is a center-right country, and has been trending that way for the past several years. So there really is clear support for this government. Netanyahu's government has also a solid 64-seat majority in parliament, and it is expected his government will last for a full term, and that means the next 4 years.
And Netanyahu has said that he hopes for a breakthrough in forming diplomatic ties with Saudi Arabia, as he did in 2020 with other Gulf states that share Israel's concerns about Iran. So how likely do you think, Ramy, is that to happen?
Yeah, good question. There's growing belief, actually, that the normalization of ties between the two countries is back on the table. And case in point, Netanyahu himself has publicly, and even recently, just last week, said that he would love to see full normalization. Also, to your point about Iran, it's the idea here that the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and that enemy for both of these countries is Iran, to stop Tehran's nuclear ambitions, and that Iran continues to reject Israel's right to exist. Now, Netanyahu has already been able to engineer peace deals with several other Arab countries, Bahrain, the UAE, Morocco, and Sudan, under the Abraham Accords, and Saudi Arabia clearly his next hope there. But the potential stumbling block, say some critics to this, is that Netanyahu has clearly aligned himself with those ultra-nationalist, those ultra-Orthodox hardliners with his new political partners, and that could be the impediment there.
Ramy Inocencio, keeping us smart here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.